This is K. Srikanth, Assistant Professor EC Department, ISL Engineering College. I am here to start online sessions on microwave techniques. This microwave techniques is a very important topic as far as the electronics and communication engineering is concerned. Why? Because using these microwave techniques, we normally going to communicate huge amounts of data over a long distance communications. So over a longer distance, if we want to transmit huge amounts of data, then we normally going to prefer this microwave communications. Say for example, I want to deal with my satellite communication, GPS communication, then I want to deal with very high frequency communication for weather report and all. I am normally going to deal with the microwave communications. So therefore microwave is going to be pretty much useful whenever we want to transmit huge amounts of data to a longer distances. That is the reason why nowadays even cell phone technology is also going to implement this microwave communication techniques, where people like us, we need to use more number of services continuously. That is why we are also using the microwave technologies for certain applications. So before we normally go with the subject, we go with the basic introduction towards the microwave communications. So now here, as far as this microwave, why we are dealing with all these basic things before we go to the communications? Why? Because some of the questions I have been asking continuously in the examination in the objective questions, in a very small short answer questions. That is why we normally go with these basic kind of questions. Now first of all, we deal with all these various topics in this particular session. Now history of microwave communications, definition of microwave communications, applications, various advantages, disadvantages of microwave communication and microwave frequency bands, and moreover the transmission media of a microwave communication system, and basic Maxwell's equations which we normally use in this particular microwave communication subject. So now coming to the history, when the journey of these microwaves, the journey of microwaves will be, we have started in the year 1932 by a scientist called Nello Carrera in 1932, where he has first written a paper in the IEEE journal about the microwave communications. Later on, the microwave communications was coming to existence after the Maxwell's. Now he is the guy, the Maxwell's has did a tremendous job. Yeah. So Maxwell's has did a tremendous job regarding the electromagnetic waves. So Maxwell's has given 4 Maxwell's equations, and he said that EM waves are going to exist based on these 4 Maxwell's equations. So he has normally did his work in the year 1831 to 1879. So why the name has come as a microwave? Microwave is normally going to have very small wavelengths. So not exactly to a range of microwaves, micro wavelengths, but the wavelengths which are going to be more than the wavelengths of radio frequencies are considered as a microwave frequencies. And the work has started from the Maxwell's. So Maxwell's has given 4 Maxwell's equations regarding the EM waves. So he worked on that in the year 1831 to 1879, and in 1873 he has given his Maxwell's equations, and he stated that the electromagnetic waves exist in the atmosphere. And after that, this scientist called Rudolf Hertz has experimented the Maxwell's equations and confirmed that whatever Maxwell's has mentioned or specified are all legally valid, or all valid statements. Then after that, so many other scientists has carried out the task based on the Maxwell's equations. So that is why Maxwell's equations are going to play a vital role in the analysis of the microwave signals by a microwave devices. The next, Marconi has transmitted the information at microwave frequencies on experimental basis in the year 1894 to 1896, and later on Southworth has commercially carried out the microwave frequencies. Then later on, based on the previous developments, radar has been developed in the World War II in 1945. So after this task, Then after that we are going to have a conventional vacuum tubes, and these conventional vacuum tubes are normally used to amplify the given signal and also to radiate the signals with certain frequency range. And vacuum tubes have failed to operate at microwave frequencies due to its own disadvantages, and we have this topic in the third unit. So in the third unit, whenever we deal with microwave tubes, there we deal with all the drawbacks of this particular conventional vacuum tubes, why the conventional vacuum tubes have failed in transmitting or in operating with the microwave frequencies, that we study in the unit number 3. And in that process, a magnetron has been developed in 1921 by a scientist called Hull, and this work has been carried over by Randall and Booz in 1940, and he has developed a first commercial microwave magnetron device. Then later on, klystron vacuum tube has been developed for amplification and oscillation purpose in 1937, and after that radar was been developed for military applications as well as for commercial applications. And since then, since after radar communication, the developments have started very fast in the field of the microwave communications. So if you observe this carefully, semiconductor devices at microwave frequencies have been developed like triode, diode, gun diode. All these diodes have been developed, impaired diode have been developed in the later phases. Then in 1960, microwave communication has been developed, which has replaced 40% of telephone communication between the various cities. Then later in 1980s, microwave devices are used in the consumer market products such as for TV broadcasting services from satellites. And next 1990s, microwave becomes a common consumer market product such as microwave ovens. So microwave ovens has come up in 1990, and since then so many developments have came up, and still the developments are going on in the field of the microwave engineering. Then after that we are going to have the definition, the actual definition of a microwave. What is a microwave? Microwaves are normally defined as electromagnetic waves called as EM waves, or in the form of EM wave radiation with wavelengths ranging as long as 1 centimeter to as short as very small centimeters, or as short as the 1 mm, are equally defined range. So beyond certain values, beyond 1 mm also have been taken as the microwave frequency range, and we are at a 5G level, we are calling them as mm waves, millimeter waves. So those waves are also comes under the microwave wavelengths. Then the microwave can be defined in another form as range of frequencies between 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. What is the frequency range of microwaves? It is 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz frequencies, very important. So the microwaves frequency range is going to be from 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. So less than 1 gigahertz, it is not microwave frequencies. So more than 1 gigahertz is only going to be called as a microwave frequencies. That means the gigahertz range frequencies are basically known as the microwave frequencies. Now one more term I have given you as the prefix micro in microwave is not meant to suggest a wavelength in micrometer range. The micro definition given here is not with respect to the micro definition which is there in the MPMC subject or other subjects. The micro here is with respect to the radio wave wavelengths, radio communication signal wavelengths. So the wavelength of a signal for radio communications would be definitely the wavelengths used in the microwaves are definitely going to be less than the wavelengths used in the radio communication. That is what the micro we normally going to mean by saying. So that is why we can say that microwaves are very small in wavelength when compared with waves used in the radio broadcasting or radio communications, and their range is in between the radio waves and the infrared rays. And next is, we already understand that microwaves are always going to operate at higher frequencies. Gigahertz frequency means what? Higher frequency. So at higher frequencies, will the lumped elements really going to process those signals, high frequency signals? It is very hard to transmit such high frequency signals. Why? Because always the dimensions of the components that we use to process a signal should be compulsorily proportional to the wavelength of that particular signal. If it is proportional, then only we can able to normally process that kind of a signal using lumped elements. Lumped means what? Using inductor, capacitor, which are going to be called as a fixed components in the circuits. Okay. Now that is not possible in the case of high frequencies at microwave range. So therefore, as the wavelength signals at microwaves are roughly proportional to the dimensions of equipment. That means the wavelengths at microwave range are roughly proportional, are not proportional to the dimensions of the equipments. Therefore, the lumped element circuit theory has been replaced by a distributed transmission line theory. So this transmission line theory we try to understand in the unit number 1, how this distributed transmission line theory is normally used in the analysis of the microwave signals. The next is open wire and coaxial transmission lines at lower frequencies are replaced by the waveguides and the microwave strip lines, and also the lumped element circuits are replaced by the resonate cavities. So we are going to have a resonators. Using resonators we replace the lumped element circuit components. Then next, coming to the next one is the applications of the microwave signals. Now there are numerous applications of microwaves. One is going to be communications, radar, military applications, industrial and commercial purpose, and biomedical applications. Whenever we deal with the communications, what type of communications we have? Basically terrestrial communication and satellite. What is terrestrial? Terrestrial is always going to be above the surface level of the earth, is going to be terrestrial communication. So something like used for very long distance communication. So microwave links, cellular communication and wireless LAN communications, we normally going to use the microwave frequencies for communication purpose. And next is satellites. We normally use these microwaves for satellite communication between transponder and satellite and the earth station. To have a communication between these two, handshaking between these two, we normally going to provide a better communication between transponder in the satellite and the earth stations. And also GPS communication system is normally going to get communicated with the microwave frequencies. The next one is radar application. Radar is divided into applied for two purposes. One is civilian purpose, another one is a military purpose. Whenever we deal with a civilian, what about civilian applications? Means applications for commercial use is called basically civilian use, like air traffic control, weather forecasting, car traffic control, remote sensing. So weather forecasting means in Hyderabad we have a IMD center, which is a weather forecasting center. So that weather forecasting center is normally going to use this civilian radar, which is a pulse radar. They are using a pulsed radar to speak about the weather conditions of the India. Okay, then next is remote sensing. So that means remote sensing satellites, communication can be done for a radar applications. Okay, the next is military. Military means what? Surveillance has to be there. So that surveillance can be done by using the microwave signals. And next one is navigation purpose. What is navigation? Basically, whenever we wanted to communicate between one place to another place in a seashore, we normally going to use these navigation signals. And weapon guidance using guided missiles. Nowadays guided missiles are very much popular in design presently. So weapon guidance normally done using guided designs. There also we normally going to prefer these microwaves. And electronic warfare, these are the military applications. And next is industrial and commercial purpose. In a commercial purpose, microwave ovens working at a frequency of 2.4 gigahertz, 600 watts, normally used for commercial purpose. And for industry, process control, cutting, drying, we normally going to use this microwave signals only. That means microwave means what? Without touching anything, everything is normally going to happen with a microwave. So that's what the advantage of microwave. Human intervention is not going to be there to process a particular activity using a microwave signals. That is what the advantage of a microwave. The next one is medical applications, biomedical applications, hyperthermia, imaging technology. We can use this microwave signals, very high frequency microwave signals. Microwave stratoscopy and sensing, medical implantable devices in the body. So these are all the various applications of a microwave communication. The next, So this is what a basic satellite picture. This is what a basic satellite picture that we can really use for communications. Now here so many satellites have been shown. If you observe this carefully, this is a satellite, this is a satellite, this is a satellite, this is a satellite, this is a satellite. Now all these satellites are revolving in a geostationary orbit. What is a geostationary orbit? Geostationary orbit is an orbit which is normally going to revolve with the speed of the speed of satellite in this orbit is always in proportion to the speed of the earth, which means what? If you stand with a line of propagation with any one of the satellite which is there in the geostationary satellite, now the user is going to always see that the satellite is always straight to him, line of sight propagation. Why? Because the satellite is revolving at a speed which is exactly equal to the speed of the earth. So therefore this is known as a geostationary satellite. Now in the geostationary satellite is normally meant for communication purpose, like civilian applications we use a geostationary satellite applications. So now between satellite and earth station we normally going to use the microwave signals, and the communication between satellites also we normally going to use the microwave communication. Therefore that is why we are normally use this microwave signals, and this is a basic one of the type of the satellite which I have shown it here. The next one, advantages. What are the advantages of this particular satellite microwave signals or microwave frequencies? There are numerous advantages of microwaves. If you think about microwaves, the journey has started from cellular mobile and up to the satellite communications. So many technologies which are involved in cellular mobile communication and satellite communication are being implementing with the microwave frequencies, and also some home appliances like microwave oven just now we discussed. So all these things can be very easily developed by using these microwave frequencies. And your microwave communications can be best suitable for long haul and short haul systems communications. So now one more advantage of this microwave is, unlike other types of stations, what is a station? Station is a communication element which is going to be there on the ground side, on the ground to transmit and receive the signals which we really want. So other types of stations, unlike other types of stations, microwave radio systems do not require legal requirements. So many legal requirements are normally going to get fulfilled in order to have a system for a commercial purpose. Say for example, if somebody wanted to lay a base station for a cellular communication, so for him he has to get so many permissions from the government, whereas that many permissions are not going to be there if we implement with a microwave communications. And microwave radio communications are going to be cost effective for what? For businesses and enterprises which needs to communicate huge amounts of data because of the larger channel bandwidth. So the channel bandwidth which is there for microwave frequencies is going to be very, very high. Why? Because 300 gigahertz is the approximate bandwidth for the microwave signals. In 300 gigahertz we can transmit huge amounts of data. If the requirement for the business is to transfer huge amounts of data, then that business is going to depend on the microwave signal frequencies. Therefore the microwave signal frequencies are going to be predominant or very much useful whenever we want to transmit huge amounts of data in a bigger forms or enterprises. Now why it is happening? It is all happening because of more channel bandwidth. So the channel bandwidth is always going to be a limitation as far as the communication is concerned. When you go with analog communication suffers with channel bandwidth. To overcome that, we are coming out with a microwave communications. To eliminate the channel bandwidth problem, we are coming with a microwave communications. So, and microwave communication systems require less maintenance and they are more reliable. Since maintenance is less, they are going to be reliable. That means human interaction is going to be less. Once you design and initialize or configure the system will be working by its own, something like a base station. Once I install a base station at a particular place, that base station is normally going to be there forever and ever without any cost problems. So therefore maintenance cost is going to be less and they are more reliable also. And let us see some of the disadvantages of these microwave frequencies. Every system is going to have some advantage and some disadvantage, and we have to live with it always. So what are the disadvantages? The problem with microwaves is that the receiving station or receiving system should compulsorily, the designing of receiving system is going to be very much difficult whenever we want to receive the signals at a microwave frequency range. That means receiving the signals that have been transmitted are going to be more difficult. So the receiving signals are going to be more difficult because every receiver should compulsorily have the same kind of costly equipment which has been installed at the transmitter side. Okay, so that is really going to be difficult for the ordinary user. The next problem we are going to have is, here there is no lumped element. Since there are no lumped elements, we cannot find out the voltage, we cannot find out the current, we cannot find out the power directly. So that is why measuring techniques are very difficult to implement with microwave radio communications. So measuring the parameters of the microwave signals are very difficult to implement with the microwave radio communications. So that is the reason why most systems that use microwave frequency should create their own machinery. That means based on their requirement, they have to create their own machinery for their particular purpose. So that is really going to be costly at the initial stage. Since it is difficult to design their own circuitry. They cannot design their own circuitry. Okay, they have to compulsorily go with the basic standards of the microwave circuitry. It's going to be very typical thing for that. So that means designing is costly, and after the installation is very easy. After installation, it's going to be cheaper. Okay. Now microwaves propagate. One more problem with microwaves is that microwaves are going to propagate in a straight line, and hence it need to be propagated. It need to be propagated multiple times. It is multiple times in several directions if we require to propagate a signal. So if at all we want to propagate a signal, every signal has to be propagated in multiple times in different directions, because microwave signals are going to be based on line of sight communications. So that means both the transmitting and receiving antennas should see each other as far as communication is concerned. That is simply called as straight line communication, line of sight communication. So that is what one of the problem with the microwaves. And attenuation by solid objects. One more problem we have is there is attenuation of the microwave signals at solid objects, by solid objects like birds, rain, snow and fog. So in all these conditions, the signal strength is going to be very low. We are already experiencing this particular problem in our dish antennas. Whoever has got dish antenna in our houses, they might be experiencing that whenever rain falls, what happens? Suddenly the signal is going to get stopped. Why? Because the microwave signals are simply going to get attenuated heavily due to the rainfall. So that is one of the problem we are going to have. The next is microwave signals are reflected from flat surfaces like water and metal. So the reflection is going to be there more for the microwave signals. Now because of this high reflection only, we are using a dish antenna. Now we will study about various dish antennas, how the dish antenna is going to be there. So I think we have studied in the antennas and wave propagation, dish antenna. So that particular thing we have just used it here. Due to the reflection property only, we have designed a dish antenna to consider the microwave signals. And the next one is microwave frequency bands. So whenever we communicate any signal, we have to really bother about a electromagnetic spectrum. What is why we need electromagnetic spectrum? Whatever signal that we want to transmit, that signal that we are going to transmit in the free space should lie in the range of the electromagnetic spectrum. Then only that particular signal can be processed by the systems which are at the user side. So therefore compulsorily there are certain designations given to the various ranges of the frequencies. There is a UHF ultra high frequency range, it is 0.3 to 1, and LSCX band. So L band is normally used for 1 to 2 gigahertz. S band is preferred for weather forecasting by IMD centers in India. So in India they are preferring 2 to 4 gigahertz range of frequencies, because in IMD center they have to send a radar signal to a cloud. Now clouds are going to be at a distance of 18 kilometers from the surface of the earth. So to reach the surface of the earth of 18 kilometers, 2 to 4 gigahertz frequency is sufficient to get the signals from the clouds to the earth station radar. So this is the IMD center radar applications, we normally going to use it here. Okay, now Yeah. So next is designation. C band. C band is normally going to have 4 to 8 gigahertz. X band is going to be 8 to 12 gigahertz. Then QK band, that is called KU band, 12 to 18 gigahertz. K band 18 to 27 gigahertz, and KA band 27 to 40 gigahertz. So up to KA band is very crucial for us. Why? Because in normal conditions we normally design, that means from 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz is the usual band for the microwave frequency ranges. So up to 4G, 5G, 4G technology we are going to use up to these bands. Now coming to 5G, 5G is going to be millimeter band. Millimeter band means what? We will be going towards 300 to 3000 gigahertz band, that is called sub-millimeter wave, and this is millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is a 5G technology, comes under microwave communication only. So this millimeter means what? 30 to 300 gigahertz. So these are all the various frequency bands which we have to remember. At least try to remember up to KA. So remember up to KA band, because this question is been asked many times in the examination. So list out the various bands, microwave frequency bands in the electromagnetic spectrum. So in that process, in that question, you have to compulsorily write all this band of frequencies. So try to remember at least 5 to 6 frequency bands, so that you can write in the examination. The next. Now physical transmission media of microwave signals. Now how do we transmit a microwave signal? There are various mediums to transmit a microwave signal. So usually what is the scenario we have for a communication? We should have a sender, we should have a receiver, or we are going to have a transmitter, we are going to have a receiver, and we normally going to have a channel. So this particular diagram has been shown for the data communications. What is data communication? Computer to computer communication is known as a data communication. Usually microwave means what? Microwave communication is not going to deal with human being communication. It's going to be system to system communication. Therefore, this particular diagram has been chosen to explain about the transmission mediums used in the microwave communication. Now coming to transmission mediums, usually we know there are two types. One is wide medium, other one is going to be wireless medium. Wireless medium is known as unguided medium, and wide medium is known as the guided medium. Now there are so many mediums here we have. Among these so many mediums, which mediums we prefer here? We prefer waveguides and strip lines, microwave strip lines and waveguides. These two we are going to use at a microwave frequency ranges. And twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable. So these frequencies are these media, or this guided media is also going to be used at microwave frequencies, but fiber optic cable is going to be more than, it's going to work at terahertz range. Twisted pair and coaxial cable are going to work at below 30 gigahertz range. Above 30 gigahertz means what? You have to go with the waveguides and microwave strip lines. So these are all the various transmission mediums. And one more is unguided means what? Simply air. Say for example, somebody want to transmit a signal to the satellite. Then how the signal is going to get transmitted? From the earth station in the ground to the satellite, which is revolving around the earth, is going to get transmitted via air. Air is going to be the medium of communication. The next one is Maxwell's equations. Now what is the importance of Maxwell's equations in communication? Okay, what is the importance of Maxwell's equations in communication? So Maxwell's equations are very much important. Why? Because Maxwell's is the first person who has concluded that the electromagnetic waves exist based on the Faraday's law, Gauss law, Ampere's law, Lenz law. Using all these laws, what the Maxwell has did is he has combined all these laws and he has just made around 4 equations, and he called them as a Maxwell's equations. Now what is the final conclusion of Maxwell's equations? They give a relationship between electric field and the magnetic field. So Maxwell's equations basically gives the relationship between electric field and magnetic field, both in the static as well as in the time varying fields, time varying environments. So that is how we normally going to have various Maxwell's equations. And here what is so many equations? 4 equations for electric field, 4 equations for the magnetic field, for a static field. Among all these 4 equations, what 2 equations are very much useful for us? Del cross E and del cross H. So del cross E is equal to 0, del cross H is equal to J. You have to just simply go back once again, just refer these Maxwell's equations in the first unit, because we require this Maxwell's equation in first unit. Then later on We are going to have Maxwell's equations for the time varying fields. Maxwell's equations for the time varying fields. So in the time varying fields, what is the equation we are going to have? Del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, and del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by dou T. So these equations we normally going to use in the analysis of the microwave signals using through the microwave components. So this is what the basics regarding the microwave engineering. And using these basics in the microwave engineering, why we have studied about all these basic fundamentals? We studied all these basic fundamentals to have an idea of a microwaves. What is the importance of a microwave? So in order to understand about the importance of microwaves and microwave communication applications, we have simply developed this particular I have just simply prepared this particular slide, which is going to be the introduction to the microwave communications. Now in the first unit of microwaves, what we are going to study, I will just going to give a brief about the various units, because from next class onwards I am going to start with the units. So first unit deals with the microwaves propagating through a guided media like conducting plates, parallel plates. Then after that, microwaves communicating through a waveguide. So just now we discussed about waveguide here. So here I discussed about a waveguide. So here I discussed about a waveguide. See this? I discussed about a waveguide here. Okay, microwave strip lines here, and first unit contains how the wave is going to get propagated through a conducting plates. When there are two conducting plates, in between the conducting plates, how the microwave is going to get propagated. Using the Maxwell's equations, we are going to analyze that particular wave propagation. After that, we analyze the wave propagation through the waveguides. Okay, waveguide is nothing but a geometrically constructed hollow space conducting plates to process or to communicate with the microwave signals, or to process the microwave signals. And micro strip lines are known as the transmission lines, which are going to be very thin in nature, we normally going to use. So using all these things, these are the basic things which you normally going to use in the unit number 1 and unit number 2. So before we start, let us please once again go through with all these things. From next class onwards, we will start with unit number 1. Thank you so much.